What's up, Maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, WrestleManiac if you will. And today is a different kind of video. I was scrolling on Twitter a couple days ago and I saw Sean Ross Sapp post a tweet that said, "Post pictures of wrestlers holding world titles they didn't actually win." And as well as scrolling through these and thinking, well, he should have won a world title, she should have won a world title, and laughing at some of the people that were holding world titles, I thought this will make a good video. We can come and discuss this with the Maniac gang. So that is what I'm doing today. We are discussing these 25 men and women holding world titles that they never actually won. As we go through this, put down below in the comments guys and girls who you think should have won the world title out of these 25 wrestlers we're going to talk about today. Right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that's WWE and AEW, so if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell as well, so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. 25 wrestlers holding world titles they didn't actually win. Shinsuke Nakamura. How this didn't happen at this time around 2017 or so. You know, we all say he probably should have beaten AJ Styles at WrestleMania for this title. Instead, he turned heel. Underwhelming heel run. But yeah, Nakamura should have definitely been WWE champion around this time. Not so much these days. Like, yeah, he's not doing a whole load of anything right now, and he's Intercontinental Champion as of time of recording. But yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura won the Royal Rumble, should have beaten AJ Styles at WrestleMania, could have beaten AJ Styles in the months that followed because they were still in a feud of just kicking each other in the nuts. Shinsuke Nakamura is not a WWE champion. It's not on his CV. Complete shambles as of that time, but right now, yeah, he doesn't deserve to be a WWE champion. Samoa Joe. Now, I can't lie, I can't even remember too tough when this picture was around. But yeah, Samoa Joe, definitely someone who, if you look at his CV, everything he accomplished, how long he's been going in wrestling, WWE champion should have definitely been an accomplishment that he should have acquired. But to be honest, these days it looks like he's as good as done. He's like recruiter for NXT right now, so very, very unfortunate. It doesn't look like it's gonna happen for Samoa Joe in this lifetime. Samoa Joe should have been a WWE champion. Owen friggin' Heart. Rest in peace, Owen Heart. My favorite Heart, let that just be said on record. But yeah, Owen Heart should have been a WWE champion. If we were to rank people that should have been WWE champion and didn't actually win it, that might actually be a good video idea. However, if we were to do something like that, Owen Heart should be top. He is number one. Definitely should have won it. This guy was absolutely phenomenal before his passing. Tragic passing with that. But yeah, Owen Heart was so good. Like, it doesn't make sense. Especially some of the other guys that won it around that time were all guys that, yes, should have won it, but Owen's name should have been there. Rest in peace, Owen Heart. Ruby Soho, she is going to win this title. It's a matter of time. She's holding it here. We know she lost to Britt Baker, but she will win this title eventually, sometime down the line. Surely, it's a given. She's probably one of the best women on the AEW roster, most popular, most well known, obviously from her time in WWE. Of course, she's done the indies and everything beforehand. She's made her way over to AEW. She's going to win this title. It's a matter of when. TBS title might actually come before this for her, but the AEW Women's World title is definitely in her future. Well, thank God this one didn't happen. To be honest, Ryback is someone that you could arguably say at this time could have been world champion, could have been WWE champion at this time, but I wouldn't have wanted to see it. And I can't lie myself, I was dipping in and out of the product at the time, wasn't really watching, but Ryback was a top name around this time. So this could have easily happened. Thank God it didn't. This guy is not, in my opinion, doesn't have what it takes to be a WWE champion. And yeah, thank God this is just a picture and nothing more. Bret Hart holding the AEW world title. I mean, He's definitely got the caliber to be a champion. He's definitely got the caliber to be the AEW World Champion. Obviously, he is more or less done, or should I say more or less, this guy's retired. He's been retired for a very long time. So of course this is when he was actually presenting the title, when they first debuted the title. Nothing more. This wasn't him, you know, staking his claim to it. But if he was in his heyday and AEW was around then, definitely world champion caliber. Bret Hart is absolutely phenomenal wrestler, despite, you know, what I think about him and how unhappy he always is. Lita holding the Raw Women's Championship. So again, this is when they debuted this title, when, you know, they took away the Divas title at WrestleMania 32 and Lita presented the brand new Women's Championship, or as we now know it, the Raw Women's Championship, because it's red, guys. If you didn't notice, it's the red one. So yeah, again, in her day, Lita is a women's champion. We know this. She won multiple women's champions in her day anyway. So Lita's name would definitely be synonymous with the women's world title if she was around. And to be honest, if she wanted to get back into the ropes, I'm not saying WWE go and put the title on her, but they probably do, because that's the kind of stuff WWE would do. She would become a women's champion in today's landscape in WWE. So yeah, Lita is definitely a credible name to be holding a world championship, although in this particular image she wasn't really staking her claim to it, just presenting it as a new title. Listen to me clearly, this needs to happen. I need the heel turn. I need him to go back on his word of never winning the world title and actually putting himself in a position to win the world title and actually winning it. This needs to happen. I'm a big Cody fan. However, everything that's going on right now with his character is a bit all over the place. Just turn heel. We don't mind, bro. We want to see it. We want to see you go back on your word. We want to see you win this world title because you're world title caliber. And let's leave it at that. Lana holding the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, this is off the back of a feud with Naomi. Lana, world champion caliber? I don't think so. I think at the very minimum, Lana should have won the women's tag titles that they don't really seem to care about a lot anyway. She probably should have won that. But women's world title is a stretch. It's a step too far. But, you know, Lana was that kind of character that they could have put into the scene just for someone to get an easy win over. But nah, Lana can't be winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. That can't happen. Tomohiro Ishii holding the IWGP World title. This is a lot of people would argue this could have happened. They have had some questionable champions in between. Evil. But Ishii is somebody that could have won this instead of someone like who I just mentioned. Ishii is definitely more credible. Not quite top tier for me, but he is up there. So I wouldn't be surprised, I wouldn't be shocked, I wouldn't be disappointed if he was to win this title. Could he still win this title? Possibly, but New Japan, I don't know how forward they're looking in terms of their booking and stars coming through. But again, like I say, it wouldn't be completely surprising if Ishii ever won this one day. Orange Cassidy with the AEW World Championship. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't want to see this personally. Like, Orange Cassidy is a whole heap of fun, and I'm not even just saying that. He is very enjoyable to watch. I just can't see him as a world title, and the way they treat the AEW world title with so much reverence, so much respect, and all of that kind of stuff, Orange Cassidy, not for me, man. I think that would all go out the window if he held this title. TNT Championship, I think that's his ceiling. Being involved in high profile feuds, maybe challenging for the world title. He's put on good matches when he's done that in the past. Holding the world title, being the world champion, I don't want to see it personally. How this one didn't happen in his career, I don't even know. Scott Hall should have definitely won the World Heavyweight Championship. Definitely. He should have definitely won. I don't know how this didn't happen. You know, Kevin Nash won it around those same times. Hogan, of course, was champion. Scott Hall should have won it. It's crazy to think his highest accolade was the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, that's madness. Scott Hall should have definitely won the world title, man. I don't even know what else to say. This is more like speechless, like coming across the picture and thinking, very much like Owen. Obviously, Owen is undisputed, but Scott Hall is definitely up there with a name that should have won the world title. Listen, let me talk my things about Naomi. Naomi, in my opinion, has been in WWE for what now? 10 years or something? Plus? Naomi should have won or been a women's champion about 5 times minimum by now. Divas era, she was the best wrestler. She was at least one of the best wrestlers in the Divas era. She should have won the Divas championship. Let's be completely honest. Naomi's first singles title, being the SmackDown Women's Championship years later, is a complete and utter travesty. She should have won the Divas Championship when that thing was flying around, because anyone could get it, yet she actually deserved. If you watch some of the matches Naomi was putting on in the Divas era, leaps and bounds above some of these women. Her and Cameron, even some of the singles matches away from Cameron. Yeah, I don't understand. She should have won this title 100%. Again, rest in peace, Mr. Brodie Lee. Like, this look, him in the suit with the AEW world title, at that time, especially, you know, beginning of the pandemic era, if you like, he could have easily been world champion. The way he was carrying himself, he had a Dark Order backing him. I believe this picture's from when he stole the belt from Moxley. He was so good. I mean, it's a complete shame he's no longer with us. As well as that, the landscape of AEW has changed vastly since then. But definitely, how he was being booked at that time, Brodie Lee could have easily been AEW world champion. Rest in peace, Brodie Lee. Oh, this one was recent. Liv Morgan holding Becky Lynch's Raw Women's Championship. Now, I do think one day Liv Morgan will reach the heights of being either Raw or SmackDown Women's Champion. I don't know when that will be. I don't think it will be within the next year. Nah, there's still the Beckys, Biancas banging around and stuff like that. I don't think it's Liv Morgan's time within the next 12 months. Maybe sometime after that. They do seem to finally be building her. And after months of me questioning what does everyone see in Liv Morgan, I'm beginning to understand and see, you know, that she is a very good wrestler. She has a strong social media presence. WWE like those kind of things. So yeah, this championship is definitely in Liv Morgan's future, I would say. Well, this one's pretty impossible. This is Scarlet Bordeaux holding the NXT Championship, the men's NXT Championship. So she can't quite win this one for 2 reasons. The women can't face the men for the championship. This is obviously her holding on to Karrion Kross's belt, and she's no longer in the company. So yeah, next. Now, Sting holding the WWE Championship. I mean, this could have happened again in his heyday quite easily. Knowing WWE, they probably wouldn't have even given him this belt. They would have given him the World Heavyweight Championship belt when that, you know, came over to WWE, the big gold, if you like. But yeah, Sting 100% could have been WWE champion if he came over when everyone else did, you know, 2002, 2003, around those kind of times. This guy didn't come to WWE, waited it out, said he wouldn't join and all that kind of stuff. 2014 is when he finally decided to turn up in WWE. And then of course we know his run after that was pretty much next to nothing. Didn't really get to do much. Probably was never going to win the world title, although I do think he had a world title match with Seth Rollins, if I remember correctly, the match he actually got injured in. But yeah, Sting in his heyday, 100% WWE champion caliber. Chris Bay, Impact champion. This could easily happen within the next 18 months. They might have a plan. Obviously, Josh Alexander's knocking about. Josh Alexander's contract is running up, actually. I read that the other day. Moose is obviously champion right now as of time of recording. But the likes of Chris Bay could easily emerge as a #1 contender. He's had a title match, I think, within the last 12 months. So yeah, 100% Chris Bay, probably within the next 18 months, just a bit longer, is very realistic where he could be Impact champion. It's definitely in his future as long as he stays in the company. For Chris Bay, it's a matter of when. Mick Foley holding the GCW world title. Now, again, in his heyday, I mean, let's be honest, to be fair, if Mick Foley decided to come back today, they could probably put that strap on him, you know. They could probably do it. Mick Foley is the hardcore legend. No matter what Britt Baker says or thinks, he is the hardcore legend. GCW are very much specializing in the deathmatch and hardcore style. So yeah, this is a no-brainer. This would happen probably in 2021 if Mick Foley was still active. Dakota Kai and the women's NXT title. Probably for some people, something that should have happened already. You know, she should have been champion already, but here we are. She's just been contesting for it here and there and fighting and becoming #1 contender and losing and all of that kind of stuff. The fact that they wanted to move her to main roster, it seems, and now she's back in NXT. Again, this could happen for her. I know Mandy Rose is someone that's moved from main roster down to NXT and become champion. So possibly could be in Dakota's future. She's one of the more experienced women on NXT 2.0 right now anyway. So maybe so. But you would think if it was ever going to happen, it probably would have happened already, right? Tai Conti with the AEW Women's World title. She's obviously recently had a title match against Britt Baker at Full Gear 2021. Was unsuccessful. Tai Conti probably wins the TBS championship before she wins the world title, in my opinion. But someone that could easily win the AEW Women's World title one day. Again, it's just a waiting game for her. It could happen somewhere like within the next 2 years, somewhere down the line. Tai Conti could get that win under her belt and become Women's World Champion. Just not yet. But I definitely see the TBS championship in her near future. Kento with not only the Intercontinental Champion, rest in peace that belt, brilliant title, but also with the IWGP World Heavyweight title. Very likely, you know, very likely. Right now, as of recording, he is the United States Champion for New Japan. I see Kento one day being the IWGP Champion. This could happen, I would say, maybe within the next 2 to 3 years. He could easily be world champion, and deservedly so. This guy is so good. The only one thing I'd say may not be on his side is age, but I think they can look past that and Kento could become champion in that company. No way in hell this would have ever happened. No way ever. No chance at all. Hurricane Helms was a pleasure. He was a joy. At one point, he was one of my favorites. Obviously, he must have been around 2003, 2004. I loved Hurricane Helms. He was so enjoyable. But the big gold belt, no chance. You're dreaming. No chance in heck. Especially around that time when he was hottest. The guys that were around, Rock was in and out doing his Hollywood thing. Triple H, Goldberg, Steiner, Booker T. Nah, no chance. No chance. Another one that definitely should have happened. How didn't Nikki Cross become NXT Women's Champion? How didn't that happen? She was one of the hottest women in that division with that sanity gimmick. She was completely insane with that gimmick in terms of her performances in the ring and just character-wise. Definitely should have won it. I remember she had some type of Falls Count Anywhere match with Asuka. Brilliant match. Nikki Cross should have become NXT Women's Champion at some point. King Mabel holding the WWE Champion or the WWF Championship. No. I don't even know how this guy won King of the Ring, let alone holding the WWF Championship. Like, nah. Next, and last but not least, Edge with the Universal Championship. Now, he was never going to beat Roman Reigns for this, was he? Like, let's be completely honest. He's never going to beat Roman Reigns for this title. Had some great title matches this past year. However, yeah, not this belt in his future. However, now being on Raw, Big E, currently champion, the WWE Championship is a lot more in his reach, in my opinion. They could go for it. They could put the WWE title on Edge. It would be believable. It may rub some up the wrong way. You're burying our younger stars for the old guys. I hear it. But the WWE title is way more in sight for Edge, even in this current day, rather than the Universal title. There's no way he's beating Roman Reigns for that. Not happening. So guys, there you have it, 25 wrestlers, men and women, that were holding world titles that they didn't win. Put down below in the comments which one of these guys should have actually won these titles. Do you agree with me with some of them, or do you disagree with me? I want to hear all your points of view down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell as well so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.